single and feeling lonely because all your friends are in relationships or married, I want you to actually just like sit with the emotion of loneliness instead of running away from it just for a few minutes. Because how often have you actually sat with the emotion of loneliness without distracting yourself by scrolling through social media or watching Netflix or texting a friend or just going to the gym, like literally just sitting in it, not trying to resist it and feel better automatically.
Oh wait, you're serious?
Lady, you are underestimating the power of the modern woman's denial. The only thing more powerful than a modern woman's denial is her never-ending war to always be right no matter the cost. The only time that she will feel lonely is when she sees the ex-boyfriend she's been stalking on social media has moved on, or when her high school nemesis gets married and has children, or when her rent is due. But even then, she will immediately go onto social media and deny being lonely. That her solitary life of wine, cats, and true crime dramas has left her feeling completely fulfilled in life, and the only people who are lonely are the men who find enjoyment out of randomly finding awesome-looking sticks. And even if she did sit with her loneliness, it'll make her fall apart. She'll sit in her pajamas, eat copious amounts of junk food as she endlessly cries about her life. This isn't an over-exaggeration either. She will literally record it and put it on TikTok as a matter of public record. She won't be able to help herself. When loneliness gets to her that badly, she needs the comment section of her videos to remind her that her life isn't completely empty. It's just mostly empty, and she'll clutch on to those fumes as if her life depended on it.
Loneliness is a very uncomfortable emotion, especially when you feel like everybody else around you in your circle is not lonely because they have a partner. But emotions are messengers, and they're also meant to be felt. So if you push down the emotion, it's just gonna pop back up like a damn whack-a-mole. So instead of pushing it down, lay down, put your hand over your heart, and just feel it. Let the emotion rise up. Tell yourself, I'm feeling lonely. Feeling lonely, and this sucks. Be really honest with yourself and sit there at least for a few minutes, and then allow yourself to get up and move forward.
Hey woman, I think you're forgetting something there. First off, the modern woman has virtually no control over her own emotions. If she sits and feels her loneliness, there is no way she will be able to deal with it with any kind of mature restraint. It's kind of like placing a bowl of chocolate in front of her. She won't be able to help herself, and you'll end up risking the severance of one of your hands. Second, that loneliness was easily avoidable. Modern women live in a world where they were given an obscene amount of advantages when it came to finding a man. And men are not all that complicated. If you stay in your league and accept that those men are good, hardworking, and can provide you with a halfway decent life, then you could have easily found yourself one. But no, you wasted every opportunity because you thought your queefs were so sacred that they were on par with the cure for cancer. That's something you brought on yourself. And third, there is no way you'll be able to let go of the loneliness. You've been institutionalized by it. To rid yourself of your emotions would be like ridding yourself of one of your Instagram accounts. It'll leave you feeling naked and terrified. So even if you do find a good man who alleviates the loneliness, you'll want that loneliness back so badly that you'll destroy the relationship just to have it. Because you're a modern woman. And if you're not feeling toxic, then you just ain't feeling alive, sister.
You know that. Of course I do, sir. Everybody knows that. Of course we do, sir.
Please do not expect anything from me if you take me on a dinner date, and not because, no, that's not good enough. I'm cheap. I can be taken to the gas station and take you to Pound Town. I don't want to go to a dinner date and you think you're going to get laid after because I have IBS. Yeah, if you take me to get a steak, perhaps, I'm going to be so bloated and fart on the whole entire drive home after I leave that date. I'm certainly not driving back to your house with you so you can put it down on me while I'm holding in a massive fart attack. You know what I mean? Like, let's do all that business beforehand or wait till the next time we go on a date. But we're not getting freaky if we just ate steak and then you're going to wait till afterwards to get that. No. No. Count me out. Try someone else.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Oh, well, all right. I guess I appreciate the honesty, not only for your being so open about being turned on by lukewarm gas station egg salad sandwiches, but Also, about your irritable bowel syndrome, it really wasn't necessary, lady. Your talk about going to Pound Town has already made me think about scheduling an appointment to get some antibiotics, and I don't even have the intention of being in the same city as you for the next decade and a half. And your willingness to openly talk about your farts isn't going to work out the way you think. The internet has completely decimated the virtue of too much information. We got too many people who are way too comfortable talking about their bodily functions, their bodily infections, and their body counts. And my day was going just fine without you talking about your farts in a not so eloquent manner. Now, I know it's patriarchy to ask, but could you, for the good of society, just tone down the language a little bit? You're not a dude. You'll never be a dude. And you can't culturally appropriate dude talk. That's not only ignorant of dude culture, it also shows that you have zero respect for the culture and the dudes who practice it. And that is not only uncalled for, it's also kinda racist. So shame on you and your bowels. Return to the abyss from whence you came, wench. You and your farts. You have no place in respectable society.
I apologize, I forgot you were there. You may go now.
I have an urgent question for the girls. Ladies, how do we feel about men approaching us in person to initiate contact, ask us for our phone number, or ask us out on a date or get to know us? Because I have so many people in the comment section of my other video who are so opposed to that because they're so fearful of doing it organically. And I want to know from you girls, how do you feel about that?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
I'm just gonna stop you right there, lady, because your question is unilaterally pointless. A modern woman is a walking series of contradictions. She doesn't want men approaching, but she'll make an exception for Chad. She gets annoyed when men don't approach her when she's wearing 8 pounds of makeup and dressed in designer rags, which cost way too much money, but she will get offended when a man approaches her and she's only wearing sweatpants and zero makeup. She has determined that any man that doesn't meet her standards are more dangerous than a rabid bear who just ate 9 kilos of pure Bolivian marching powder. And that danger is determined by how many true crime documentaries she's watched alongside where she's at with her menstrual cycle and with a sprinkling of her astrological sign just for good measure. And it's not like the question even matters. The opinions of a modern woman make about as much sense as buying a set of speakers out of the back of a suspicious-looking panel van outside of police headquarters. Either way, there's a chance you're getting arrested, and it's just not worth the risk.
Me personally, I find it so attractive. I like it. I think men should be in their masculine energy approaching women and asking us out organically in person, looking at us in our eyes and wanting to get to know us. I think that's how it's always been from the history of time. And now we have online dating, and it's screwing up the dating market and the dating situation going on right now, and people just have so many options and they don't even have to put in any effort because all they do is scroll and slide in the DM saying, hey, what are you doing, or whatever the case may be.
Wow, that's fantastic work, man. You have the wisdom of a 6,000 or 7,000-year-old man. That's fantastic. We don't have to fill up the whole blackboard after all.
Oh, woman, you really shouldn't have done that. Outside of mentioning that masculine energy crap, which is nails on chalkboard to a self-respecting man, you're also trying to emasculate men who don't want to talk to you by saying they're not man enough. And I personally don't think that's a good idea to piss in the pool that's already worse than your typical highway rest stop urinal. The men who slide into your DMs only have to say hey, and you're lucky they're willing to put in that much effort. Other men will send you longer messages, but you'll ignore them because you want manly men to approach you. Manly rich men that you find attractive to the point of pursuing something serious. In other words, a man that doesn't exist. Men aren't approaching you because the average man knows better and the top tier men don't have to. Nobody cares how much you like it because there's no benefit for either kind of man to bother. They're better off avoiding you. It's a lot more peaceful and a lot less complicated. And as an added benefit, it involves a lot less piss. And that's always a good thing.
So, how do we feel about men approaching us in person? Clarify, I'm not asking whether you find him attractive or not. Let's take that out of the equation. I'm asking about the act of a man approaching you in person and asking you out. How do you feel about that?
No, and I don't
care.
Alright, well, you just made that question impossible to answer, lady. The question of whether or not a woman wants to be approached hinges solely on whether or not that man is attractive physically or financially. The difference between a real man and a creeper is the shape of his abs and the size of his wallet. Taking that out of the equation is impossible because modern women can't think beyond the superficial. It's not the man they find attractive, it's what he has. And then they put an emotional core around that and formulate some kind of a love story with practically no information whatsoever. While looking at an average man, they have already assumed the worst and are ready to phone the police because the way he's dressed makes her feel unsafe. And that's why it's impossible to speak in generalities on this subject. But that doesn't stop modern women from throwing a blanket assumption on men whose only crime is taking a chance to see if you're interested in a chat over a cup of coffee. You're clearly not. You're too obsessed with the idea of who approaches you instead of just being approached. And I hate to break it to you, sister, but your life isn't a romantic comedy. It's just pathetic.
I know it, your family knows it. Dogs know it.
If your man starts off as being romantic in his masculine energy and then later on down the line is in his feminine energy and you just feel like now you're in your masculine energy and now you're leading the relationship, you're texting him first, you're planning the dates, this is what you have to do. This is a self-concept issue. So if you watch my other videos, you know that I talk about how to go from a low value self-concept to a high value self-concept. So this basically means that in the beginning, you are projecting a high value self-concept. He knows that he needs to take you on dates. He knows that he needs to try. He knows that he needs to pay for the date. All is good. But somewhere down the line, you stop projecting that high value self-concept.
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Well, you just described the emotional after effects of a long-term relationship, lady. It's just a fact of life. After a man and a woman have been together for some time, the comfort takes over, the routines are built, and that man isn't going to be making grandiose gestures of love because you've already made it clear that you want him. So if you want to keep the relationship going, you're gonna have to put in a little bit of effort. That means texting first. That means taking him out on some dates. That also means getting over this idea that you're some kind of mystical prize that he has to win. You're not a prize, woman. There is no prize. A prize is something you win. And winning you is worth as much as a raffle ticket where the first place prize is a kick to the taint and the stealing of a wallet. You're demanding that this man worship you, but at 0 point have you given him an explanation as to why. What makes you so great? Why should this man have you in his life? And no, the fact that you exist is not an acceptable answer. If that's what you think, then I gotta level with you, sister. A kick to the taint sounds preferable by comparison.
Value self-concept means that you're projecting that you are the prize, that you are extremely valuable, that you deserve the best. And so a more physical and tangible way of putting that is girls who are high maintenance. They take such good care of themselves, they love themselves, they just know that they are such high value women. They are the prize. They also know and they only care about what they want. A man's job is to make a woman happy. Your job is to exist in his life because he wants you. That's how he keeps you. So in being high maintenance, you are basically just always really portraying what you want, what makes you happy. If you start accepting less in the relationship after, the initial dating phase goes on, then basically you are teaching him that it's okay for him to step out of his masculine and into his feminine energy and start receiving. What does this look like in real life? Okay, so maybe in the beginning you guys are dating, it's all fun, and then after a while, you kind of start chasing him. So now you're teaching him that the dynamic is changing. Then he stops texting back so quickly. Now you're texting back more. Then he stops planning date. Then you are just like, okay, I guess I'll initiate something because I want to go on a date. You always need to know that you are the prize. You need to stand on business, hold your ground, and he always needs to be in the masculine position of making the relationship move forward.
No.
Okay, woman, you are in no position to tell a man what his job is. You lack the proper plumbing, and you don't look like you can lift 20 pounds without causing a permanent back injury. A man's job is to work, provide, and protect, and a woman's job is to provide peace and show some stupid appreciation. But that's not what you're describing. You're describing something where one party gives and the other takes without providing anything. You demand and consume. nothing more. You are not a feminine woman. How you're behaving is more in tune with tapeworms. You latch yourself onto a man and drain him of everything that makes him who he is, wearing him down, and in return, you bitch at him for not providing you more. It's not going to kill you to plan a date every once in a while, and it's not going to destroy the planet for you to show some appreciation to your man, and it most certainly isn't going to break the very fibers of reality for you to stop acting like you're a stuck-up female dog and show some kindness every once in a while. Well, maybe it will in your case. Empathy might actually make your face melt, but it's not like any of us are going to be able to tell the difference if it does, so who knows?
If he wants to see you, then he needs to ask to see you. If he wants to take you on a date, then he needs to ask to take you on a date. If he wants to text you and talk to you, then he needs to call you. He needs to text you. Obviously, you want to reciprocate the same energy because it needs to be a balance, but it should never be more than him. And that is where, if you break that balance, you are teaching him that he needs to be in his feminine energy and you are in your masculine. So here's the surprise. For the girls who want to stay high value, stay high maintenance, and continue to be the prize throughout the relationship, go download the Princess Treatment formula that's in my bio. You can download it instantly and it will show you how to go from a low value self-concept to maintaining a high value self-concept. It will show you what a high value self-concept looks like. It will give you the affirmations. It will help you stay in that energy because the whole basically formula is just one big exercise that you actually implement. That will help you so much. So make sure you go download it in the link in my bio, and I love you guys.
Nope. That would be a waste of time.
Okay, you have just established that a balance between both parties is not only unreasonable, but much like your future love life, it's downright impossible. How do you expect that to work? You're the one setting the rules, and you're the one setting the values, and you're the one setting the standards. You've gone on a brain-damaging diatribe about how the man needs to do all of the work, and only when he's bent over backwards to make your Botox-infected cope hole twitch into something that slightly resembles a smile, then, and only then, will you do something for him. But until that day, you're going to keep score. You're going to be taking notes on every single thing he does to determine if he's being good enough for you. And the sick part is there's nothing he can do to make that happen. No matter what he does, you'll come up with another cockamamie reason as to why he doesn't deserve you. But I'm gonna be honest with you, sister. A man deserves you the same way he deserves a pipe wrench to the elbow. And if given the choice, I think most men would take a wrench to the elbow. But that's only because the risk for permanent damage is drastically reduced with the wrench. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. And if you're interested in helping the channel grow, then check out the bounty board on Patreon. Your help can go a long way, and I appreciate the support. And thank you for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.